All right. If this crashes for a second time, I am going to have to be done, but hopefully not. Hopefully we'll be fine this time. I'm going to quickly recap what I already said. So if any of you were already on watching, I basically was like 4 minutes in and my computer crashed. So we are talking about Anna Nicole Smith today and her different trials that she had before her death and after. I really wanted to touch base over it because the judge in Florida that did her case, he actually went on to Court TV and was talking about Sarah Boone. And I really had forgotten all about Anna's trials. If you know who she is, we all growing up kind of knew who she was. She was a very popular name. She had her own reality TV show. But if you are too young to know all of that, I'm going to run down just briefly who people are, so you can have everybody in mind as we begin to watch the different trial days. Oh, and as I said in the other one, but I'm going to say again, nobody has the full days of her trials. I've looked everywhere for the trial after her death, and I could only find clips. So I put all the clips together. We are going to watch them, but let's quickly go over who people are so you are prepared and can make your own decision on what you think should have been done. It's definitely interesting. Okay, so this is Anna Nicole Smith, as I said, pretty well known. And she was a model. She actually made really good money modeling, but she's also really well known for marrying an 89-year-old J. Howard Marshall when she was 30. When she was 26. He was an oil tycoon. He was worth billions of dollars. And when he passed away, the kids did not leave any money to her, even so she was entitled to some because it was in his will. He did it. She ended up winning her first trial and was supposed to receive around $480 million, which is crazy. But there was an appeal, and she lost the appeal, so she actually never saw a penny of his money. So this is who she is. We're going to watch a couple. Howard Stern for this trial against a son who was trying to not let her claim any money. She hired Howard Stern, but he would become to be very important to Anna. Like, they had an off-again, on-again relationship. He was madly in love with her. I'm unsure of where her feelings were at because she also then began to date a guy named Larry Burkhead, and that seemed very serious. And I wonder who she was more serious with throughout the years. But this is Howard Stern, her lawyer. She used him for the one trial, and then he basically became like a built-in best friend. He lived with her. He was on the show, the reality show with her. There is also her son, Daniel. He died when he was only 20 years old from a drug overdose. And obviously that led Anna to be just beyond devastated. She had buried him in the Bahamas, and she actually bought the plots next to him with her intent to be buried alongside him. Very important to know when we get into the trial. This is Larry, who I talked to you about. They dated for about a year. It was on and off a little, and they had known each other for about a year before that relationship started taking off. Her mom, really her whole family, but her mom and her had a very toxic, really bad relationship. And Anna constantly, while alive, would be telling people how she doesn't like her. She basically hates her because of how cruel She was to Anna, not supportive, not loving, especially when she lost her son. The mom completely dropped the ball with her.
My son died.
So she left a
I
message.
called my mother, and all I could say was, Daniel's dead. Daniel's dead. And I don't know what else I could tell on the phone. I just told her Daniel's dead. And
There's a message.
I then just hung up the phone.
I know for a fact that she has not been a part of Anna's life since Daniel was like 6 years old.
Howard K. Stern's sister, Bonnie, knew of Anna's past and her deep longing for family stability.
Anna came to our own family's house for many family dinners, for many holidays, and said, I never had this growing up.
Just 2 weeks ago, her spirit defeated and broken, Anna's hatred for her mother had only deepened.
I'm just... What can you tell someone who is so evil and who doesn't care and doesn't even care for her own child? You can't.
So yeah, it was important for you to note that when the trial's coming. Larry gives an interview about how much Anna disliked her family, but really her mom had no interest in any of that. So we're going to go ahead and now watch the clips of the trials, which this is where it crashed earlier. There was something about my Final Cut that crashed this. So we're looking good. It's not going to happen this time now that this is over here. So let me go ahead. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. And let's go.
Please be seated, everyone.
No, actually, I want to have Miss Smith to live in peace. No, I'm just saying, when we bury her, I want it to be forever. I want her, whatever resting place she receives, she should have peace on her forever. And I don't want to put myself, this court, or any other court in a position where 20 years from now we're exhuming a body. It's ridiculous. So we're going to get it right the first time.
Asking, you can release the body. All we want to do is have DNA diagnostics.
I'm not releasing a body. This body belongs to me now. I'm not releasing the body. From what I read, this body's staying right here. We'll decide how what condition and what place we put the body, but the body belongs to me now. And he has it in cold storage, very cold storage. Because I used to be the legal advisor of the Sheriff's Department. It's cold, but it won't decompose so fast. That baby is on a cold, cold storage room. It's not decaying so fast. I can go over there now and look at it, and I go back in a month and still look at it. So there's no rush. We're not rushing. I am not rushing. We're crossing every T and dotting every I. We're going to spend a lot of time together. It's a nice group. Whatever I get, you all look at. There's no secrets in my courtroom. So I don't want any, don't send me anything unless you all see it.
Yeah. Please let me finish. I have people that loved her, that stood by her, that were actually there, that actually knew her. And the woman sitting across from me has not laid eyes on that young lady since 1995. She's never laid eyes on her granddaughter, and she sits here today to take her to Texas and put her in the ground all alone. And that's what this is about. And, you know, that's really what this is about. And it's sad and it's sick.
We're gonna show respect and dignity to the body, and we're holding that body, and that body is not gonna be moved until this court rules, and we've all agreed to that.
Okay. So yeah, so this trial, first of all, off to a really weird start, because when do you ever see a judge in chambers talking with the different attorneys? Doesn't happen. And one of the reasons that I wanted to cover it was this judge was under so much fire because of this trial. People said it was a circus. They thought he acted ridiculously a lot of the time. And we'll get to see a little bit of what they talked about, but even attorneys were getting on TV shows talking about how bad they thought he was doing. So it's pretty interesting. Howard is suing for her body to be buried in the Bahamas with the son. The mom is trying to take her body to Texas, and Larry doesn't want to take Anna away from her son in that sense, but he also brought up, well, maybe we could move the bodies together to the U.S. So we're going to go ahead and see. But yeah, 3 people are involved in this.
Madam Clerk, would you swear in the first witness? Now, again, to set the tone, we could present our case without trashing other parties in this court. I wanna move.
I could direct.
I can't help their mic volume,
She was
so if
my
it's quiet, I'm sorry.
Best friend, my lover, the mother of my daughter. It's everything to me. I mean, literally everything, my whole world. And I actually, at the time, was trying to convince Anna that maybe it would be better if Daniel were laid to rest in Los Angeles. And Anna was very firm on the Bahamas was her home. It's where she wanted to raise Danny Lynn, and she wanted Daniel to be near her. And she was pretty firm on that decision.
But we don't object to the banker appearing, I believe, telephonically. How do we cross-examine an affidavit?
Okay. So we get to hear how he feels, that he even tried to get Anna to change her mind, and she wouldn't. So that's why he is saying she needs to go to the Bahamas, because that's what she wanted. But we also know that there is a 5-month-old baby. Anna had Danny Lynn just at the beginning of the year, and then 5 months later, Anna died. Also, Danny Lynn was named in a tribute to her son, Daniel, who died. But, so yeah, you hear what Howard has to say. He is convinced also that the baby is his. Like, he 100% believes that. He doesn't know that at this point, when Anna had the baby in the hospital, she gave the baby the Burkhead last name, which is Larry's, not Howard's. This is her mom.
The head of the Minister of Justice on the phone, and I'll talk to him this afternoon in open court. Everything's been in terms of, do you have other companies that you have paperwork on?
Again,
Did
I
you ever
can't
talk about
help some
wanting
of the
to
audio.
Be buried in the same area with Marilyn Monroe?
Wherever the stars were buried, that's where she wanted to be
She
buried.
didn't
Yeah,
talk-
she said, Mom, I want to live this life, and this is my road. I want to live this life, and yes, she did mention that once, that she would like to be buried by Marilyn Monroe.
Change, right?
And the last conversation you had with your daughter about her death wishes, meaning the final remains, would have been that she wanted to be buried in California with the stars. Is that correct?
The last death time, yeah.
Yes.
Probably so, yes.
Well, I would like to, I obviously don't have time, I just received these documents, but
That's when I said, please, Vicki, baby, Daddy is gone, and then you're going to be next. Please pay attention to what's around you and who's around you. Please be careful. I said that on national TV because I knew she was going to be next. My grandson did not overdose. Howard was there when he died, and Howard was there when my daughter died.
Now, I'm
And
able to
he
strike
has
this as
my
being
granddaughter
non-responsive.
now. It's not even his child, and I'm afraid for her life as well.
Let them object to it. But let's carefully couch that question.
have you in any fashion profited at all from the death of your daughter?
I'm trying to process that question.
In other words, have
He
you
has.
She's
No,
trying
no,
to
we're not
avoid
gonna
the
point
question.
fingers. yesterday. You'll remind me this afternoon. You'll get the head of the minister.
Honor, at what time did she love life?
All her life.
Mother, excuse me.
And the matter was resolved against you. Like you had a traffic violation. What were you trained to do at that moment? If you could have done one thing differently with your daughter, what would you have done?
When I knew that she was really deep into drugs, I would have went and kidnapped her. I would have done everything I could possibly do.
So, a couple things that you maybe didn't pick up on, but she said that she told some company, whether that's news or just media in general, but she told someone and made a statement about Anna doing drugs. And then she was asked if she actually profited from any of this and about Anna's death, and she refused to answer. So that seemingly is a yes, probably her making these statements to somebody. They probably paid her to do it, so she did. So already not the best mom.
And as we talked about the other day, you gotta hope that tomorrow's a better day.
At times I took her medicine, and I was told by Mr. Stern to give it back to her because she needed it to live. And in addition to that, I just told her over and over, I said, don't, something's going to happen to you, something's going to happen. And
Take a breath, it's okay.
I needed my glasses. I needed my glasses.
you don't know how many times I had to help her and to carry her back and forth to make sure she was okay. Sometimes I didn't even know if she was going to live. And they kept bringing more and more drugs in the house. And
That baby has to be healthy as it's in the womb. And Larry tells her not to do. Now stay with me. Then we have Stern. Is he a bad guy? Or is he a fellow who has some form of a love for her? We don't know. It's a fact that'll come out way beyond this hearing. But whatever relationship he had with her, he would be called maybe an enabler, because he lived. Your objection so noted.
Dad, I feel I've known you forever.
Everybody sit back, sit back, sit back.
You didn't eat. You didn't eat. No, you gotta eat. I'm gonna take a break. I'm working everyone too hard. You all right? Take it easy. Let me give him some water, my Texas friend. You didn't eat. You didn't eat. Let's get you some food. All right. What's that? I figured he's a diabetic and he didn't eat anything. I could see the coloring. All right, let him sit down. All right. This has been a great show. Everyone have a seat. No, you're all right. Stay with me, Texas. I want to be with you a long time from now. All right? Find out who
So-
your father is.
So yeah, so we got to hear what they each were saying, how they're feeling. Both the guys think the baby is theirs. The judge is very soon going to talk about it and address it.
Enough baloney here. It's enough baloney.
Remember him?
If you were alone in my chambers, I tell you. I have suffered with this. I have struggled with this.
So again, the audio issues aren't me, but this is leading up to what he decides the verdict is going to be, and he's just saying, I suffered with this.
I always thought I'd leave at 56 and stay 30 years. And I wanted to walk out Look, see? It's true. I wanted to walk out of here standing up.
Yeah.
To deny, to dismiss.
Some of the audio just was so low you couldn't hear it, but I have it turned up to max, so there was no getting around it. He was just saying he wants to be able to stand up and walk out of here and have dignity, all of them to have dignity and do the right thing.
Is denied, is moot. Arthur's cross petition is denied. Richard Milstein, Esquire, as a guardian ad litem for Daniel Lynn, Hope, Marshall Stern, is awarded custody of the remains of Anna Nicole Smith. Milstein is directed to consult with Arthur, Burkhead, and Stern with respect to the disposition of Anna Nicole Smith's remains.
Still very bad audio.
I wanna. There's no shouting. This is not a happy moment. I want her buried with her son in the Bahamas. I want them to be together. Not the purpose that he flies with him to the Bahamas. And the sheriff's department's indicated they're gonna help.
All right, that's
Their
here's the
wants
appeal
to be
court.
declared paramount, even over an express will provision.
Yes, Your Honor, but there were no express provision in writing here as far as her desire to be buried in the Bahamas. There's absolutely nothing in writing, and that is why we have to...
Do you really dispute that that was her intent, her last intent, to be buried in the Bahamas, given the undisputed evidence on the record?
And to be honest with you, and be forthright, if this were not Anna Nicole Smith, this hearing would have been over in a half hour. We have a mother here claiming the body, made 2 requests for the remains of her deceased child. She was a legally authorized person. Mr. Stern had no business being in that court. This case has been absurd from day one.
May it please the court. Mr. McCarver, I'm here on behalf of Ms.
In most instances, a guardian acting on behalf of a child acts as a prudent person. In this case, you would have to have someone with a crystal ball.
Your Honor, you don't need a crystal ball. You literally do not need anything. All you need to do is look at one thing. Anna Nicole Smith buried the person she loved, most of all, in the Bahamas.
There's no question about that.
Which of these 3 claimants gets the body? Judge Seidlin properly decided that based on Florida law. Now, there are 2 cases that have been argued to this court.
All right, we made it through. No crashes. All right, so Howard then did get control of her body. He did have her be buried next to her son, which was what she wanted. And I really think that both guys in this scenario would have wanted whatever her last wishes were. And it was pretty obviously that. So I think that was great. Silver lining with all of this is they had to do the paternity test right after this. Howard was obviously beyond devastated that the baby wasn't his. He thought it was. And like I said, he didn't know that Anna, when she was in the hospital, gave the baby Larry's last name. Larry is an interesting person. As I said, I'm not sure if this was before my video cut out or not, but I really didn't know what to make of Larry throughout this entire trial and beforehand, because they hadn't been together that long and he was never in the public eye. So it was really hard to tell if he's a good person, if he's making the right choices. But I think time could only tell with that one. And he really was a standout person. He raised Danny Lynn in Kentucky. He was an amazing parent, still is an amazing parent, and definitely made his life around her and making sure she's a priority all the time. And he's a very, very good father. So there is a silver lining in that Howard got to do what Anna wanted with the last wishes, and then Larry got to have Danny Lynn and ended up being beyond what I ever thought he was. Like I said, it's so hard to tell if he was a good guy, bad guy, but he is a very good guy. So that is the end. As I said, if you can find this trial and like the actual day-by-day trial videos, let me know, because I have yet to be able to find them. And clips are good, but I really wanted to see more of the judge because of how many people were so critical with him. I mean, we did get to see that he was having these conversations in chambers, and he let the whole public see. He didn't care. And we do know that he was making comments about Howard in the courtroom, and that would have never been able to be allowed now. So it's just interesting. There was a few things, but I would totally like to dissect more. But maybe another day. I will definitely keep digging, and hopefully I'll be able to locate it. In the meantime, I hope you liked the video, and I hope that if you were a part of the first round, that you were able to recap the beginning of this one all right. So, all right. Thank you for watching. I am going to be back on later today.